Thanks to ongoing peace talks between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine, an agreement has been made for the two warring countries to exchange more than 300 prisoners, the first exchange in 5 months. Ukraine's President Zelensky sharing emotional video of the Ukrainians returning home after being held captive by Russian forces. The former prisoners can be seen calling their families and celebrating their freedom. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff also celebrating, writing in part on X earlier, steps like this demonstrate that sustained diplomatic engagement is delivering tangible results and advancing efforts to end the war. International correspondent Robert Sherman is live in Abu Dhabi with the very latest. So, Robert, it looks like some positive progress here.
Yeah, Nichole, I mean, what you're looking at here is that this deal that was brokered here in Abu Dhabi came to be because you had one of the first iterations of the Russians, Ukrainians, and the Americans all sitting down face to face at the same table, the second iteration of these so-called trilateral talks. And this is the tangible takeaway that the mediators, being the Americans, are touting here today. 157 Ukrainians, 157 Russians, all being released. You've seen these images, and these are the buses here of, on the right-hand side, you see the Russian troops being released. On the left-hand side, you see the Ukrainians. President Zelensky saying many of the troops that you see here on the Ukrainian side, they had been in captivity since 2022, the first year of the war, and now finally coming home. Many of them officers, some of them everyday soldiers in the National Guard, some of them in the armed forces, been held in captivity for years and now finally on their way back to Ukraine. That's not the only element that is coming out of this here, Nichole, with the Americans saying that they will also start engaging with Russia at a military level going forward. That's one of the products of these talks that you had here today. That's something that we haven't seen since 2021. But what you're hearing from many of these negotiators is that they're hoping to keep these lines of communication open to continue pressing the talks forward with Moscow, not just as they relate to what you're seeing here and these negotiations involving Ukraine, but more diplomacy with Moscow into the future. Nichole.
All right, so we know, Robert, that the negotiating team now heads to Oman for talks with Iran tomorrow. What can we expect there?
Oh, this is the big one. That's certainly going to be a huge day tomorrow as you have the foreign minister of Iran, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and this negotiating team that the president has so trustfully turned to again and again, sitting down face to face. It's been a little rocky over the last couple of days if we would get to this point, but the Iranians have confirmed that these meetings will be taking place in Oman. Say the big question here is what is going to be on the docket. We've heard both sides say they want to discuss Iran's nuclear future. Both have agreed to that. But will there be conversations about the protests that have been ongoing in Iran? Will there be conversations about Iran's role funding militia groups around the Middle East? We know the Americans want to talk about those, but Iran so far has said that they really want to keep these conversations narrowly tailored to the issue of their nuclear ambitions. Meanwhile, NewsNation's been working with people on the ground in Iran ahead of these conversations to talk about exactly what they want to see out of the negotiations. If they want to see a deal brokered between America and Iran in the first place, here's what they said. Take a listen.
If an agreement is made, it will absolutely not have a positive result for the people, whether economically or socially. This agreement makes the Iranian regime more brutal and causes it to want to unleash its lost global authority upon the people's heads and become even more savage.
Faces and names concealed in these videos here to protect the identities of those who we've spoken with. There are many on the ground in Iran who are not hoping to see a deal, who are hoping to see some kind of military intervention for fear that the regime will simply be empowered by an agreement.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.